Oh, all right. Good Monday morning, everyone. So I don't know how the weather is for you guys. James, I hope you are staying warm from the snow. Russell, are you getting snow where you are?
Uh, the people in Atlanta think it's snow, but it's
Okay.
not. It's just a little sprinkling of snow,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's enough to make everyone once again buy all the milk they can find. So there's no milk. I don't know what people do with this milk.
Well,
Well, it is raining where I am, Fern. Is it raining where you are?
it is not raining yet, but it is gloomy. So it is
Oh,
probably going to be raining soon.
yeah, it's definitely coming. But you guys, we hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday morning. You're listening to Author Talk with me, Amy, Fern, Russell, and maybe if she joins us. But you guys know we can rock this ourselves. So how was everybody's weekend? What all did everybody do?
Well, Russell's in the midst of movement. He is off to Atlanta.
Yes,
Okay,
we
nice.
closed on our house on Friday. If you'll put that picture up of,
Mhm.
Hold on, I gotta
and
get it.
it's I call it our little cabin on the side of a mountain in the woods next to the river.
It
My son came last week.
it
My
sounds
son
too
came last week and he said, "Dad, it's not a cabin." And he's a Rocky Mountain skier like me, so he's like, "This isn't a real mountain. This is
but
in the city. It's not the woods. It is by the river, but it is to me on the mountain in the woods by the river."
it's a
Nice.
Texas-sized mountain. Okay, Texas-sized
Yeah,
mountains are not particularly large.
right.
Well, you
And
know.
uh, being a minimalist, I don't want to think about the size of the house. I want to just minimize it and think of it as a cabin.
It's bigger than you really
So
wanted, huh?
that's
How
it's
did that happen?
twice as big as I wanted. We had a typical Melinda Russell fight
Ooh.
about it because I didn't want one that's this big, but it is what it is.
But it is hard to find a house that is going to be small. I mean, most homes are pretty large nowadays, especially in Texas.
Man, that's wonderful. I hope
This
Josh
isn't
wants
Texas.
it.
This is Vinings, Georgia.
Oh,
It's
that's true. That's
wonderful.
And here's the look. That was a look out
Oh,
of
here you go.
the what will be our gym because the house is so big that it's not hard to say that. And that's just the woods and the mountains around it. The
see,
river's right on the other side of that.
Wow.
it looks like you have way more nature than you really need.
I love it. Good morning, Greg. I love it.
Good
I
morning, Greg. I hope you're doing well. We all think about you.
yeah.
We love you, Greg.
Fern,
Mm.
why don't you tell us about your big weekend? We're
Well,
so proud of you.
well,
As
my
an author of yours, I
my
really am proud.
I know, right? My biggest thing this weekend was when Amy, okay, who, Amy like keeps up with what's going on with us apparently because like I don't. And she you sent me this site, that has us listed. We're literally listed as like the number 18.
It's
uh
not just a site. Good morning, CJ. Fern. Oh my gosh. Okay. Fern
what?
does not talk about herself. Okay. I understand the struggle. So, you guys, this is pretty amazing. Me and Russell are really excited about it. Inklings Publishing is listed in the top 5 publishers of Houston, but that's not all. It is also number 18 top publishers in Texas. And we all know, good morning, Valerie, how large Texas is. Okay. So she is in the top 21 of all Texas, top 5 in Houston. So let's just say she's kind of a badass. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. So
We're
that's
so proud.
wonderful.
I know. I'm
We're
super
so proud.
excited. I'm so
Thank you,
super excited.
CJ.
It's so
And as
amazing.
one of
And
her
the cool
authors,
thing
I'm
is, Fern,
especially proud of.
she
Mm.
didn't even know it though. That's what was awesome. When I pulled it up, because we were talking about uh building a publisher directory in the membership, right, in the Mastermind Wednesday. And I just like casually, they were talking, and I just casually Googled it, and I was like, hey, I know Inkling's owner. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's number 5. You know, it was like a whole thing. See, even Valerie said you're a badass, total badass. See,
I love you guys.
you know, it's just how it goes. Okay, so that's awesome.
But I think it's a wonderful idea from the mastermind. The idea of like creating a collaborative of publishers where we can co collaborate on promoting each other's books and working with each other, because reality is with the book publishing industry, we really can share and we can really build each other up, and we don't really lose. We really don't lose. And so it would be a really cool idea. I really enjoyed that thought. And as long as somebody other than me is spearheading it, I'm totally in, because
Okay, so
I've enough.
Okay.
we'll be doing
Yeah.
that.
One of the things that we do on this show that we started from the very beginning is how to market your books. We've
Mhm.
always talked about that. So, how are you going to use this to market your publishing company, Fern? What are you
Well,
going to do?
one of the things that we're going to do for sure is create an announcement to let people know. I mean, we sort of posted it on Facebook already, but we're going to do a nicer announcement about it. We're going to make sure it goes out on our newsletter. We're also going to put it on our website with a link to the page where we are listed, because reciprocal links where they have a link to our website, and if we have a link to that, that will boost our SEO. That boosts your visibility when people search for stuff. So that's going to be one of the key things to kind of give our website a little bit of a boost, push it up as well. So, and that's a really huge one, and, it might not be a bad idea to like do like a press release as we're getting ready to launch some new books and stuff, do a press release and say, hey, small press here in Houston made these lists, and we're,
Well,
check.
you know,
And I mean, the media might come to it.
I know a
Can
press.
your au- can your authors get in on this? I want to get on this to get my CEOs up too.
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely put on your website that, your publisher made this list, and that's a great thing to announce. As an author, it's a great thing to announce that your publisher is a small press, but it is an important one that has made these, it is making an impact in the community, and you can definitely get in on that SEO reciprocal links. So yeah, definitely I would post it on your website, and maybe even send it out as part of if you're like not sure what to send out during your newsletter, your coming newsletter. This is a great announcement to send out. Say, hey, my publisher has made this list, and how awesome is that? Because of course, the better your publisher is doing, the more legitimate the fact that they published you is, right? Because if you get published by a company that disappears within the first few years that they're open, that doesn't really give you much. It's the staying power of that company that says, this is a legit publisher, and I was picked up by this publisher. They believe in me, and my work is valuable, which is what traditional authors are looking for. When you're an indie author, that's a whole other thing. You don't really need the validation of a publisher. You're a business minded person. You're going to go out there. You're going to push your own book. But if you are looking for a traditional publisher, part of that is that feeling of being validated of, hey, a publishing company, an agent picked me up. They thought my work was really great, and that's part of what comes with being part of these companies. As an author.
Yeah, I think that's really important because you want to feel like you're in good hands, right? Because it's, you're putting your life's work, so to say, So I don't know. When I saw it, I was just super excited, and I know Russell was excited too when he saw it on Facebook. So we're just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna shout, Inklings Publishing and Fern from the rooftops. So.
Well, and like that's part of the thing with some of the anthologies, right? When you're in an anthology, a lot of times you're not really getting royalties. There's a few that do that, and that's a hot mess of a math situation. But for most of the time, when you get into an anthology,
You
there
know, math is your favorite, so come on, you know it. It's your absolute favorite.
it is my
Okay.
weakness, that's for sure.
Eh, Okay, and let me make this point, is that Fern, the strongest book of your publishing company is your book that was on their website of Doctor Who and got an incredible rating and an incredible review. And that's another star for your publishing company of the last year. It's the last 12 months has been so good for your company.
And you know, it's interesting you say that because you know, when you're looking at having looked at 2020 and 2021 and the lack of good revenue, right? Because everybody in small business, we all suffered. You know, we all suffered losses. It becomes really disheartening, right? You're like, why am I doing this? We're back in the red. You know, how did this happen? But you begin to see some of the things that validate that that work. Because, for example, you know, Meg Halfdahl, she was our very first author, the very first author that decided to trust us with her work. And, you know, today she is being published by Simon and Schuster. She's got a whole line of nonfiction books with them. You know, she's got a new literary agent that is working to help her with a screenplay possibility based on Willoughby. She's got another series that she's pitching to another big publisher. This is part of the validation of the small press. Your authors should not just stay with you. Your authors' careers need to be, this is like the first step, right? A small press is the first step, and then they go into another level and they go into another level. And as they do that, right? As they do that, that's a good thing for us because now that says that who we selected as authors is really good because look, Simon and Schuster just picked her up on that, right? So that was a great validation. And then you have the validation with the Doctor Who. You know, that was a more of a personal one of for my own writing because you always, as a writer, wonder if your writing is good, you know. And so having that was a great validation. Then this is another one, you know. So it's I think that having these little wins this year has been really good for me because, you know, there were moments when I was like, why am I even doing this? Like, oh, you know, this is clearly not going to be good. But then I see these things and I'm like, okay, just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
How about you, Amy? How was your weekend?
Wow, why you gotta say it like that? It sounds like, you know, how was it? Anyways, so Abundantly Social has now gone international, which is super exciting for me because you guys know Sandy shifted gears last year. And so it was my first year on my own. I mean, she was, you know, they're mentoring me in the background. So it's exciting, you know, that we have gone international. So we just signed a author that has a book coming out April 23rd that is kind of like it's a fiction book that with true elements to it. And so it's a series and they're launching a journal also in October. So we're super excited that they reached out to us and, you know, wanted to meet. And the time works perfect because it's in the evening for her, in the morning for me. So it's perfect. It works out because you guys know I love everybody dearly, but I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. Okay, it's just my life only goes so far. Okay, it does, but it's very exciting for us to kind of see, you know, the Abundantly Social and the word is kind of, you know, getting around and everything. So it was a shock and exciting. And I called Josh, and he was like, "Oh my gosh," you know, he just got on his whole little thing that he did, but it's exciting to be able to help people over what is it? How do you say it? Is it over the pond, across the sea? I don't know, something like that.
Across
There
the
you go,
yeah.
whatever, something like that. So that was exciting. So that actually happened. I met with them on Thursday morning, and I received the green light Friday morning at like 2 in the morning. So
And let me tell you, this is really good for your other authors too, because as you're building connections and promoting across the pond for this author, you also have now a plethora of new contacts for the other authors too. So yay, this is
yeah,
good.
it's super exciting. As you know, I have yeah, it's so much fun because there's last year I started a bunch of things. You know, I mean, I have author talk, and then I helped kickstart a bunch of other shows, and then me, Fern, and Sandy started Book Lovers Delight, which is going good. And then this year, just to kind of kick off the year this way, I've signed 3 new people already and everything. So it's just January was a hectic, fun month for me to kick off the year. So, it's exciting to see it because I have moments, Fern, like you do, where I'm just like, what the heck? I'm just going to sleep in,
Mhm.
Not that I really sleep in. I have kids, so I don't get that luxury. But, still. So, I mean, it's just, it was a lot. It was cool. It was cool.
It is good. It's good to have these moments because it has been rough. I mean, the whole situation with the pandemic has been rough on small businesses, on creatives. It has been rough, and so having a writers community, having these little wins, these moments of like, okay, we can do this. It's not over. The world has not collapsed. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's cool. We all have something exciting. Russell's moving and just closed on his house, and that's exciting. Fern is, the amazing publisher of Texas, and so I think it's the 2022. Yes, I don't know. 2020 and 2021 are a blur, so I'm like, I don't know what year it is, but it's starting off. I would say pretty awesome. I'm excited for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have something else that's happening that's really big, and that's what's going on with our podcast.
True.
You
True.
know, our rating.
Yeah,
Our ratings on the podcast we're at number 10 for
wow.
books. On Good Pods, we're number 3 for indie books as of 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We have more people listening to us on podcasts now than watch our show, and during the week, and we're getting
Russell. That means that our voices sound good. I know you're always worried about your voice, but that means that we sound good because people would not be listening to us if our voices sounded junky.
I'm trying to do better. I was very critical of how I sounded last week, and I got a new wire, so I sounded better. And I hope for the people listening on the podcast this week, I do sound better because I didn't like the way I sounded last week. It was muffled.
Yeah, this is much clearer. You're definitely clearer.
And Amy's been contacted by a lot of other publishing companies and PR people that they see her numbers too of Author Talk. Mm-hmm. And we even got a little music written by my professional musician nephew. I'm hoping that's supposed to be our entry and our exit music. I hope we're able to integrate that in the future. We haven't really even talked about it. We're kind of talking about it with the viewers at the same time. So we're stepping our game up, and we're hoping to get some bestsellers from all over in the future on our show, as well as our locals. And I'm hoping to get a lot of perhaps Atlanta authors on our show now, as I stream out into the Atlanta writing community and the Georgian writing community, talking about Author Talk and talking to authors about being on our show. I don't know if we're going to have enough time.
We're going to have plenty of time.
Have enough time.
And when we're talking about the music, that's one of the things I was thinking about with the music. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I think we need to have somebody do like a little thing, with the music of like introducing each host or whatever, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to know the music you would pick for me.
I don't know. I think there's definitely changes, and there are good changes coming for author talk that we're all discussing and mulling around and everything, just to take it to the next level, since we're becoming more popular. It's kind of one of those things. So that is definitely one of the things that we're talking about and playing around with. But I mean, we love to hear from you guys, hear suggestions. If you don't want anything to change, let us know. If you want some things to change, we're pretty open. We're just having an open door conversation for author talk and moving up to the next level for us. So all input is welcome at this
And
moment.
Greg says, doing just the score as a music introduction is really good. Which yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna make it more like a real show. It's gonna make it like a real show, y'all.
Hey, we are a real show. Okay, I like my intro.
I
I think
know, but it's hard.
okay, than
It's
my
been so hard. It's been so hard to believe it that things are working out so well, because we're just like three guys sitting around talking about books with an author about their book coming out.
Hmm.
It's a silly show. It's just a
no.
fun show.
We're
I
not
think,
as we.
yeah.
I think we are a fun show, and that's what really helps. Is like people enjoy how we talk and that we banter with each other and stuff. I think that's what helps to make the show super super fun.
Well,
Mhm.
I
I know
think
my jokes about Fern and Amy really are good jokes.
yes, Russell. Like when I had laryngitis and you called me a little boy. Yes. But I think
That was a good joke.
it was. It was. Josh still says that when my voice goes out. Sometimes he's just like, "Oh, there's this little boy," and it's a whole thing. Okay, and then I have to go, and it's a whole shebang. But
And
I
your whole series of sword jokes were funny, but I never could talk about them. But
think no, I think what for me, right? Because I'm biased. Okay, but I think that our show, when you Fern, when you interview an author, or Russell, when you banter back, I look forward to this show to kick off my week and Monday mornings and everything like that. But I think like the love and passion that we all have for authors and the whole just publishing writing community, I think is what makes this show so special to me. And the fact that my kids interrupt it sometimes, and we have to ring it, okay, because they cry, bang on my door, and it's just fun. Like my child is about to start crying again, okay. So it's the little things in life, and I don't know. I love this show though. It makes my morning seeing Russell and Fern and Russell picking on me. I love it. I love it.
It is a great way to start Monday. I have to say, I look
you
forward.
know, last week's show with Max was a really good show. And Fern, you did a great interview, and Max really did talk about what he does and his background and what his plans are. And it really, I've never really listened to Max because we've never had time before we've started expanding the time on this show to really talk to someone like Max and really get more out of him. And I'm really excited about what Amy's going to do with Max because I want to be a part of that. What exactly are you doing, Amy? Because I want to be a part of that.
Well, so through the eyes of authors, talk about shifting gears like author talk is updating. Through the eyes of authors, we're kind of shaking things up a little bit. So we are doing a 6-week course with Max Regan. And I would say it's like a 6-week writing intensive, but that's not true. But that's just what I'm wording it as for a lack of better wording. But he is going to come on for 6 Mondays and do it's the 6 tips. Let me pull it up so I don't butcher it. But it is the 6 steps to becoming a stronger writer. Anyone on any path, whether you've written 550 books and you're on your 551st book, or you're just starting, this is a course that will reach all the needs that you need. So some of them, like the first class, is understanding genre and the drafting process, crafting stronger beginnings, narration, and scene work, and then it ends with the devils in the details on how to do writing and formulate it and everything like that. So he is going to come on, like I said, for 6 Mondays for an hour and talk about these things, brainstorm with you guys, run examples to kind of highlight it. And then you're going to have homework that you have to do. So we are learning it and implementing it because that's how I learned that way. So it's going to have both. And so Wednesday mornings, it'll be me and Fern or me kind of going over your homework, helping you out if you need it before Max comes back on Monday evening at 7. Fern knows about it. Fern was on the meeting with me too. She works with Max, so she can probably dive in a little bit deeper. But that's kind of what the 6-week course for Through the Eyes of Authors is going to be.
But let me tell you, and Max loves homework.
Oh, okay.
He loves to give homework. And the thing about homework with Max, it's really not so much about, turning anything in or blah, blah. It's really about giving you different options of exercises where you can implement what he was sharing, that you can practice it and play with it. And then, of course, he always says, if you did it right. It doesn't matter how you did it, right?
Yeah.
Because what matters is that you tried it, you played with it, that you wrote. But I think that one of the things that he's very passionate about, and I'm very passionate about, just as a publisher, if you're in the place where you think you already know everything about writing and you don't need to learn anything new and you can't improve your skills any better, you're already Mozart, then this class is probably not for you. This is for the authors who realize that writing is an ongoing skill. You have to keep practicing it. You have to keep perfecting it. And there's always something new that you can learn. A lot of times in courses, you hear the same information. You hear information you've already heard before. But it's not about like bringing new information. It's about applying it into your project now. Bringing it back into your awareness of, okay, I can't just info dump. I have to actually embed, right? And bringing that back into the forefront of your mind as you're writing in your project right now, having active beginnings. We all already know this, right? But bringing it back into your awareness and practicing it again, so I think that's one of the powers of ongoing workshops that he offers, is the opportunity to refresh yourself, hear the skills again, talk about the strategies again, and then find the application today. Where are you going to apply it now? How are you going to improve your work now? Because your newest book should be significantly better than the very first book you ever published, right? Your skill set should be growing as an author all the time. If you're not growing as an author in your skills, in crafting stories, if you're not getting better, then what are you doing? That's the whole point of being a working writer.
Yeah, I think that's something.
So, Amy, how do listeners on our podcast that can't see what you attach at the bottom, how do they get in contact with you if they want to be a part of that?
So we are opening it up. So if you're already a member of Through the Eyes of Authors, you already get this course. But we are opening it up. If you want to come and do this 6-week intensive, you'll get the recordings and everything like that. I'll be mentioning it in my newsletter right after this. I have it all set to go out. You guys, you should be proud, okay? My newsletter people, okay? Because Lord knows I'm not good at that. But anyways, sorry, I rabbit hole. Anyways, I will be posting the course and everything on my social media, but you guys can email me, direct message me, wherever you want to, for information on the course, how you can get into it, everything like that. So my email is Amy, AIMEE, at abundantlysocial.com. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. And you can find me either as Abundantly Social or Amy Ravi Chandran. I'm pretty sure if you just start typing Ravi Chandran, R-A-V-I, I'll pop up. Okay, like it's just one of those. There's not a whole lot of with my last name. But I'm an open book on how you can get into it and everything like that. I want to make sure that writers have the opportunity to get help from Max. Like Fern works with Max. Her book, as Russell mentioned, was reviewed by the Doctor Who community as, one of those that should be made into a movie and was compared to Doom. Like, We conveniently left those out somehow. But so it's exciting. He's been doing it for about 30 years. I think it's his 30th business anniversary this year. So we're super honored and excited to have him. So reach out. It's going to be. I'm excited, and you guys know I'm not the writer in this little trio going on here, and I'm excited to learn things. So it's definitely going to be great, and I'm very gracious that Max is going to come speak to Through the Eyes of Authors. So
and we can put the link, right? We can put the link on all the places where you load Author Talk, like how to reach out to you.
Yeah, I'll put my email, all of my social media. Just no, it's okay. I mean, you can send me hater mail too. I'm cool with that too. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I'll put it all out there.
That's
open book.
When you get your first hater review, or that's like a badge of honor right there.
I kind of, yes, that is true. But you know what though? Author Talk has never received that. We have been doing this for 5 years. We have never received any hater mail ever. I'm very proud of that.
You just threw down the gauntlet.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Why? I'm just saying. No one.
Wish you hadn't said that.
Act like you like me. No, not really.
This is terrible.
So Fern.
Yeah.
You just talked about hater mail. Since we're talking about hater, do you remember your first bad review?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What they say, and how'd you respond to it?
Okay, I didn't respond at all, because the best thing to do with a bad review is to not respond at all. Okay. She gave it a 3-star because apparently there's some people out there promoting the idea that you should just read 3-star reviews, and that'll give you the truth about the book, which is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But this lady posted a 3-star review and she dumped it. She's like, oh, it had 2 editors and this person didn't know genre and they didn't know the genre and blah, blah, blah. She apparently did not comprehend that it was a hybrid of science fiction and fantasy. And I don't know what the heck she was expecting, but I know this person. And, as the leader of the guild, I had the opportunity to let this person know that she, was not going to be one of our speakers in one of the conferences. And she took that very personally and apparently decided to post this review. So, because I knew that, I was like, okay, this is just a pettiness. And unfortunately, in our author community, as beautiful as it is, we do have some very petty people sometimes. And you see that a lot in the romance community. You see a lot of crazy stuff going on, with
pettiness and romance. I'm shocked.
I know, me too. But apparently it happens. I just watch my romance authors, my romance author friends. But if you're going to get bad reviews, and here's the thing, right? As a writer, you need to remember that you're an artist and your book is art, which means that it will touch certain people. It'll connect, it'll resonate with some people, but it won't with everybody. Just like Picasso doesn't really connect with everybody. I mean, some people love Picasso and some people can't understand it, don't feel anything when they see it.
I'm totally one of those people that I don't get it. I love it. I think it's beautiful, but I just I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm sorry.
I'm shocked. I just bought a Picasso-esque painting, as you've seen, and it is going to be the center place in my coffee room because it's the 3 faces of a lady. What it is, I looked at it. That's Marilyn.
Mm-hmm. But see, you connected to that piece of art. It spoke to you. It doesn't speak to everybody, and that's okay. But that's the point. It's like, it's okay if it doesn't speak to everybody,
I just don't understand.
Okay, now let me tell you about my bad review.
Ooh.
I sold over 10,000 copies in the first 6 months. I've sold about 15,000 now. So I was a bestseller for a few days on Amazon. So I was very proud of that. But since it went out to so many people, and I got a lot of reviews, I got a lot of great reviews, but I got one lady who gave me a 1 star.
Ooh.
And her review was uh, that there one character cursed so much she couldn't finish reading him. And I was thinking, that was the point. He was a really, really bad guy from the streets. He was one of the ones doing the murdering in Murder for Me. Uh, Actually, really enjoyed writing him. But, with each character, you're working on a different voice. And you have, and that's something I'm dealing with right now. I finished chapter 3 of Murder by Trial, and I thought, I didn't like, there wasn't an adequate differentiation between the voices of some of my characters in it. So even though it's a first draft, and the number one rule on first draft is keep writing, don't go back and do any fixing, I
Mhm.
had to, because how could I continue writing in that character if I didn't get the voice right? It just wouldn't have clicked right. So I had to go back and rework chapter 3 on that.
Mhm.
And she hated that I did that and said she couldn't finish the book. And as you can tell, I didn't respond at all, because one of the rules on bad reviews is you do not respond.
Don't
Right.
respond.
And so I didn't. But, and I had an author call me for advice about reviews and algorithms. Uh, and we've actually talked about it. Uh, and the author was asking, well, what if I get a bad review? Well, the key is with the algorithms is you need reviews. You need a number of reviews. You need over 50 reviews now to get into a different clique of the algorithms and how Amazon treats you. And my response to him was, uh, if you get a bad review, that's another review. Don't worry about it. Just move on, because
And
at least you've compiled your number.
well, here's what also a bad review also lets people know that other people besides your friends read the book, you know.
Yeah.
And so it in a way it sort of legitimizes your book, because you it's art. Books are art, and therefore they are not going to appeal to everybody. There are people out there, they don't want to see bad words in books, they don't want to see explicit love scenes in books, and that's fine. That's up to them, what they want to read and what they enjoy. But the reality is that most authors are going to write with real world in mind. And in the real world, you're going to come across people who use foul language. You're going to come across people who enjoy sex. And so, you're not going to, you can't really write for a very small number of people who want everything to be quote unquote clean, which I really dislike that word, because there's nothing dirty about living, living fully, I'm sorry, there just isn't. So, I mean, I can be foul mouthed. Sometimes I let a few obscene words go, but when I'm teaching, when I'm with my kids, I'm really aware. Bring it down, right?
Yeah.
Control. So where sometimes it's appropriate to just be loose, and where it's not, and in a book, it's a murder book. Like you said, Reza, it's a murder book. This was a bad guy. Bad guys don't speak clean. Okay. Bad guys are going to have, you know, bad language. I mean, it just so, but you can't account for that. But it's a legitimacy. These are random people who picked up your book, and some of them maybe they didn't like it, but that's okay. That's a good thing.
And as you say, it's almost a success, because I got so many reviews, because I got the book out so far,
Hmm.
further than I even expected the first book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
had
So,
people taking
Amy,
photos.
what do you have going on tonight?
Oh yeah. What is on tonight?
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness, it's Monday. So I know, and this like the 30 minutes we've been on, I forgot. So this evening on Through the Eyes of Authors, we actually have one of our members will be talking with her daughter, and they have created a writers retreat that's going to be hosted in Galveston. And I have the flyer and everything. It will be going out to everybody if you want to come and listen and hear all about it. And, sign up for a writer's retreat. I always find those to be fun. And you honestly get a lot of writing done, but you build your writer community and network with other authors. And I think that's kind of the greatest takeaway. So Kathy Horizon will be speaking tonight. I have the flyer and everything like that. If you would like to come and hear about a writer's retreat that will be in Galveston, Houston area, message me. I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome to come on. But, it is the beginning of the year. Retreats and stuff are starting back up. And so we are kicking it off tonight with Kathy Horizon. So I'm excited about it to see, because her and her daughter have put this together. It's the first one, and it's going to be.
It's actually their second.
Oh, is it? Oh my gosh!
I went to her first one was before COVID.
Okay.
And I went to her retreat, and it's a really great facility, very comfortable, and it's really nice to get away. Just to get away, that's the power of the retreat, is that you're disconnecting from everything else, all the other responsibilities. You get the food, it's included. So you don't even have to worry about, hey, what am I going to eat today? Right? You don't have to worry about any of that. You just go, you spend some time immersed in your project, in your writing. You get the camaraderie of fellow authors. You get to share your work. You get a one-on-one session with Kathy, on your work, which is awesome. So going to retreats is really a great opportunity to just focus on writing, make writing the first place in your life for that time period, because you got to balance out life throughout the rest of your world, So
yes,
yeah,
it is a balancing act for sure. But join us tonight, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain. At any other time zone, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Those are just the ones I deal with recently, okay? But all, that's what it's going to be about. So, Russell, closing statement from you.
Well, the one I have, my closing statement is a question for Amy to answer in closing, and that is, when is the first Mac session? Because I'm very concerned about not missing that first one. And I really enjoyed talking to you guys today, and I hope people both in our show and our podcast enjoyed us today.
Absolutely. So Max's session is going to start that first week of February, so next Monday, and it's going to go on. I actually have it up right here. So it's going to be February 7th through March 14th is going to be the duration of his course tonight on next Monday. You guys, I'm already in like February mode. I'm sorry. But yeah, and plus I'm looking at his email, and that doesn't help me either. But so if you're interested in being a part of it, anything, you guys know how to do it. Russell, you're on my list, so you're going to get the emails. You got to open them, though. You got to hit that open button to get the link. One of those things. I love you dearly, Russell. I love you dearly. Byron, what about you? Closing comments before we close out Author Talk this Monday morning.
Closing comments. I just gotta say, it isn't often that we just get to hang out, the three of us. We have our guest authors, and we get to interview them. So we do miss our guest today. We don't know what happened with her, but hope she's well. But I am very glad to have had this chance to just hang out with you guys. And yes, if you are an author, check out the course coming up with Max. Max has a lot of other awesome things that he does. And check out the Kathy's retreat, because it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Robert May, hey man, good Monday morning. Greg, yes, I'm telling you, we are living in the future for sure. But it's always nice to kind of kick off the next month with just us. I mean, I know that February starts tomorrow, so we kind of kicked it off just us, which is always fun. I love just talking to you guys. But we hope everybody has a fantastic Monday. Stay warm, dry, or cool off wherever you are and anywhere. If it's hot, rainy, cold, snowing, whatever. We hope that you do all the precautions that you need. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic week, and we will catch you guys